Daniel Brooks stood in the center of the grand chamber, surrounded by beings from across the galaxy. The massive room stretched high above him, with seats arranged in circular tiers that rose toward the domed ceiling. Hundreds of alien representatives filled those seats, their eyes fixed on the lone human below. Ambassador Daniel had represented Earth for 3 years now. He knew these chambers well, knew the faces that looked down at him with barely hidden contempt. Humanity was new to the galactic stage. Earth had only achieved faster-than-light travel 20 years ago. To these ancient civilizations, humans were children playing with tools they barely understood. High Chancellor rose from his seat at the highest tier. The reptilian leader's scales gleamed under the chamber lights. His species, had ruled their corner of space for 10,000 years. They considered themselves the pinnacle of civilization, the natural leaders of the Galactic Council. "Human Ambassador's voice echoed through the chamber. "The Council has reached a decision regarding your species." Daniel kept his face neutral. He had expected this meeting for weeks. The whispers had grown louder in the diplomatic circles. Earth was too dangerous, too violent, too unpredictable. Something had to be done about the humans before they became a real problem. "The Council demands that Earth surrender all advanced weapons technology immediately," continued. "Your military forces will be reduced to system defense only. You will submit to regular inspections by Council peacekeepers. Furthermore, all human expansion beyond your current territory will cease until the Council determines you are ready for such responsibility." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Daniel recognized the faces nodding along, the who controlled vast mining operations, the aquatic whose merchant fleets dominated trade routes, the crystalline shards whose technology surpassed most species. They all seemed pleased with themselves. "And if Earth refuses these terms?" Daniel asked calmly. His mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "Then the Council will enforce them. Economic sanctions will begin immediately. Your ships will be access to all Council-controlled space. Military blockade of your system will follow. We hope it does not come to that, human. We truly do." A representative stood, his mandibles clicking. "Your species has warred among itself for its entire history. Thousands of conflicts, millions dead. You brought your violence to the stars. The galaxy cannot allow such savagery to spread unchecked." "We have studied your world," added her voice bubbling through her translation device. "Your oceans are polluted, your atmosphere damaged. You fight over resources, over land, over ideas. You are not ready to walk among civilized species." Daniel listened to each accusation. Some were true. Humanity had a bloody history. Earth bore the scars of industrial growth and global conflicts. But these aliens saw only part of the picture. They saw what they wanted to see. "The Council is not without mercy," said, his tone dripping with false kindness. "We understand you are young, still learning. Accept our guidance. Let us help you become better. In time, perhaps in a few centuries, you may earn a true place among us." More nods, more agreement. They had already decided. This meeting was just a formality, a chance to tell the humans their place in the grand order of things. "How long do we have to consider your offer?" Daniel asked. 3 standard days, replied. "We are generous. We could demand immediate compliance, but we recognize you must consult with your government. 3 days, Ambassador Brooks. Then we require your answer." Daniel bowed slightly, the gesture neither submissive nor defiant. "I will relay the Council's demands to Earth immediately. We will respond within your—" "See that you do," settled back into his seat. "This meeting is concluded." Daniel turned and walked toward the chamber exit. He felt their eyes on his back, heard their quiet conversations resume. They were already discussing how to divide up Earth's resources once the blockade forced humanity to submit. They were debating which Council species would oversee human military reductions. They were planning Earth's future without humans having any say in it. Lieutenant Amy Carson waited for him outside the chamber. She was young, barely 30, but she had served as Daniel's assistant since he took this posting. She read his face instantly. "That bad?" she asked quietly as they walked toward the human embassy section. "They want complete surrender," Daniel replied. "Weapons, military, expansion rights, everything. They are giving us 3 days to comply." Amy's jaw tightened. "Will we?" Daniel pulled out his secure communication device. He typed a short message, encrypted with the highest level codes, just 2 words. He sent it directly to Earth's military command. "What did you tell them?" Amy asked. I told them to proceed with Protocol 7. Amy's eyes widened slightly. She knew what that meant. Every human in the diplomatic corps knew about Protocol 7, though few believed it would ever be activated. They think we are weak, Daniel said as they entered his private office. They see our small fleet and basic ships. They remember that we fought among ourselves. They look at Earth and see a primitive world that stumbled into space travel. But we are not what they think, Amy said. No, Daniel agreed. We are not. He walked to the window that overlooked the council station. Ships from 100 different species docked at various ports. Traders, diplomats, military vessels. The station was neutral ground, protected by council law. An attack here would be an attack on the entire galactic order. They made a mistake, Daniel continued, still watching the ships. They assumed our silence about military matters meant weakness. They thought our peaceful approach to diplomacy meant we had no other options. They believed their own propaganda about primitive humans. Amy joined him at the window. What happens now? Now we wait for Earth's response, Daniel said. The Council gave us 3 days. Earth's government will take maybe 3 hours to decide. Then we wait for the assets to move into position. Will there be war? Daniel considered the question carefully. That depends on the Council. Earth will not submit. That much is certain. Whether the Council accepts our refusal peacefully or tries to enforce their demands by force, that is up to them. You think they will back down? I think they will be surprised, Daniel said. Very surprised. The Council has never been challenged by a species they considered inferior. Their entire power structure is built on the assumption that military might equals political authority. They are about to learn that they miscalculated. He turned away from the window and sat at his desk. The next few days would change everything. Either the galaxy would accept Earth as an equal, or there would be conflict on a scale the Council had not seen in centuries. Daniel pulled up the files on each Council member. He studied their backgrounds, their species' military capabilities, their political alliances. He needed to understand how they would react when they learned the truth about humanity. Because the truth was something the Council had never imagined. Earth had not been idle during its 20 years among the stars. Humanity had learned, adapted, and prepared. While the Council saw primitive humans in simple ships, they missed the weapons platforms hidden in Earth's asteroid belt. They overlooked the defense stations scattered throughout the solar system. They dismissed the possibility that humans might have developed technology that matched or exceeded their own. The message from Ambassador Brooks reached Earth Defense Command in seconds. General Henderson read it 3 times before setting down his tablet. Around the conference table sat the most powerful military leaders on Earth. They had been waiting for this call. The Council issued their ultimatum, said, complete military surrender, weapons confiscation, indefinite oversight, 3 days to comply. Admiral Lisa Grant leaned back in her chair. She commanded Earth's space fleet, such as the Council believed it to be. 20 cruisers, 40 frigates, a handful of carriers. Numbers that seemed pathetically small compared to the Council's thousands of warships. What does Brooks recommend? She asked. He activated Protocol 7, replied. That means he believes negotiation has failed. The Council will not accept anything less than submission. Then we show them why that was a mistake, said General Clark Hayes from his seat at the far end of the table. He ran Earth's ground forces, though the Council barely acknowledged their existence. What did ground forces matter in space warfare? Pressed a button on the table. A holographic display appeared, showing Earth and the surrounding space. Begin Phase 1. I want all assets at full readiness within 12 hours. Phase 2 initiates when Brooks gives the signal. The room erupted into action. Officers grabbed communication devices, typing orders to bases across Earth and throughout the solar system. The machine that humanity had built in secret was waking up. Captain received her orders while reviewing supply reports on Sentinel-7. The defense station orbited beyond Neptune, officially listed as a deep space research facility. The Council's intelligence services had noted it in their files and promptly forgotten about it. Research stations were boring. Read the coded message twice. Protocol 7, full combat readiness. Maintain communications silence until Phase 2 activation. She called to her second in command. Sound General Quarters, this is not a drill. Lieutenant Carlos had served with for 5 years. He knew that tone. Ma'am. We are going active, said simply. Get everyone to their stations, power up the main systems. I want full combat capability in 6 hours. As hurried to execute her orders, walked to the station's command center. Sentinel-7 was massive, built over 15 years by construction crews who thought they were assembling a science platform. The station could house 5,000 personnel comfortably. Right now, 3,000 military specialists called it home. But Sentinel-7 was not what it seemed. Beneath the research labs and living quarters, hidden behind maintenance corridors and cargo bays, was something the Council had never suspected. Weapons. Lots of weapons. Entered her command code into the primary console. Panels throughout the station began opening, revealing what had been concealed for over a decade. Missile tubes, particle beam emitters, kinetic accelerators, and technology that the Council did not have names for yet. Holy, whispered as the displays showed the station's true capabilities. Welcome to Sentinel-7's real purpose, said. We are not alone out here, Carlos. 14 other stations just like this one are waking up right now. The Council is about to learn that Earth takes defense seriously. On the moon, Commander Jake walked through underground passages that stretched for kilometers beneath the surface. Luna Base was officially a mining and research colony. 30,000 civilians lived there, working in legitimate industries. But beneath the civilian sections, hidden in tunnels that no Council inspector had ever seen, was Luna Base's true heart. Jake reached the primary weapons control room. Officers were already at their stations, running system checks. Display screens showed dozens of targeting systems coming online. Status report, Jake ordered. All primary systems responding, reported his weapons officer. 1 through 40 green across the board, missile batteries fully loaded, particle cannons charging. We will be at full operational capacity in 4 hours. Jake nodded. Luna Base was a fortress. The Council thought humanity had a small military presence on the moon. They were wrong. The entire lunar surface was a weapons platform. Hundreds of concealed batteries, thousands of missiles, energy weapons that could reach targets throughout the solar system. And Luna Base was just one installation. Mars had similar defenses, so did the asteroid belt. Earth had turned its entire solar system into a fortress, and the Council had never noticed. Back on Earth, Dr. Shaw entered the Advanced Weapons Research Facility outside Geneva. The building looked like any other scientific complex. Inside, the galaxy's most dangerous minds worked on projects that would terrify the Council. Walked past labs where scientists perfected quantum disruption technology. He passed testing chambers for gravitational manipulation devices. He entered a secure elevator that descended deep underground to levels that officially did not exist. The bunker at the bottom held Project Horizon. Security badge opened the final door. Inside, a team of researchers worked around a device that looked almost simple. A sphere, 3 meters in diameter, covered in intricate circuitry. Status, asked the lead scientist. Ready for deployment, came the answer. We can have it in orbit within 8 hours if needed. All tests have been successful. The calculations are solid. Studied the sphere. Project Horizon was Earth's final option, the weapon of absolute last resort. The Council had antimatter bombs, they had planet crackers, they had weapons that could sterilize entire worlds. Project Horizon made all of those look primitive. Let's hope we never need to use it, said quietly, but make sure it is ready. Admiral Lisa Grant reviewed the fleet deployment plans in her office at Fleet Command. The Council knew about her ships. They had watched them move through space, noted their speed and weapons capabilities. The Council's analysts had concluded that Earth's fleet was barely adequate for system defense. They were right about the visible fleet. What the Council had not detected were the shadow ships. Vessels that looked like cargo haulers and civilian transports, but were actually military craft equipped with the latest weapons technology. Ships that had been parked at commercial stations throughout Council space, waiting for this day. Lisa's communication screen showed confirmations coming in. Shadow Fleet was mobilizing. 78 warships that the Council did not know existed were moving into position. They would not reveal themselves yet, but they were ready. The door to her office opened. General Henderson entered carrying a data pad. The Council is monitoring our communications, he said. They expect to see panic, frantic discussions, political chaos. Should we give them a show? Lisa smiled. No, let them wonder why Earth is so quiet. Let them think we are paralyzed with fear. The surprise will be better. Sat down across from her desk. We have prepared for this scenario for 18 years, since the first contact with the Raiders. Do you think we are ready? The question is not whether we are ready, Lisa said. The question is whether the Council is ready for what happens next. They think they know humanity. They studied our history, our wars, our conflicts. They think we are violent and primitive. We are violent, said, when necessary. Exactly, when necessary. The Council sees our violent history and thinks we are uncontrolled savages. They miss the important part. Humans don't fight because we enjoy it. We fight because we are very, very good at it. And we have had thousands of years to perfect the art of warfare. Stood and walked to the window overlooking Fleet Command's Operations Center. Hundreds of officers worked at their stations, coordinating the mobilization that the Council could not see. What do you think Brooks will tell them? He asked. The truth, Lisa replied. That Earth refuses their demands, that we will defend our sovereignty, that we are not the primitive species they believe us to be. And when they try to enforce their ultimatum, then we show them what humanity has built. We show them that underestimating Earth was the biggest mistake the Council has ever made. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, military forces moved with practiced efficiency. Weapons systems that had been hidden for years were powered up and tested. Ships that had pretended to be civilian vessels dropped their disguises. Personnel who had lived as miners, researchers, and merchants revealed themselves as soldiers. Earth had two faces. The Council knew the first face, the one that smiled and cooperated and seemed harmless. They were about to meet the second face, the one that humanity showed to those who threatened everything humans held dear. In orbit above Earth, satellites began subtle repositioning. The Council's sensors might notice eventually, but by then it would be too late. Each satellite was actually a weapons platform, capable of targeting ships in high orbit or deep space. Earth's orbital defense grid was coming online. Dr. Shaw sent an encrypted report to General Henderson. Every weapon system was functional. Every installation was ready. Project Horizon was prepared for deployment if needed. Earth's arsenal, hidden for nearly 2 decades, was ready to be revealed. Henderson read the report and allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. They had done it. Despite the Council's spies, despite regular inspections, despite constant surveillance, humanity had built an arsenal that would shock the galaxy. The Council thought 3 days was enough time for Earth to accept the inevitable. They thought humanity would see the overwhelming power of the Galactic Alliance and surrender peacefully. 3 days passed quickly. Ambassador Daniel Brooks returned to the Council chamber with the same calm expression he always wore. The massive room was fuller than usual. Word had spread that Earth would deliver its answer today. Many species sent additional observers, eager to witness humanity's submission. High Chancellor looked particularly pleased with himself. He had spent the 3 days speaking with various Council members, assuring them that the human problem would be resolved peacefully. Earth would see reason. They always did, eventually. Daniel took his position in the center of the chamber. Lieutenant Amy Carson stood near the entrance, her face revealing nothing. She carried a data pad, but her real job was to monitor the room's reactions. Ambassador Brooks began, his voice carrying false warmth. The Council awaits Earth's response to our generous offer. I trust your government has reached the correct decision. Daniel pulled out a small device, a human tablet that many Council members had seen before. He appeared to reference notes, though he had memorized every word he was about to say. High Chancellor honored Council members, Daniel began. I have consulted with Earth's government. They have carefully considered your demands. The consensus is unanimous. Leaned forward slightly, and Earth declines your offer. The chamber erupted in noise. Aliens spoke over each other in dozens of languages. Some laughed, thinking they had misheard. Others looked genuinely shocked that the humans would refuse. Raised his hand for silence. It took several moments for the chamber to quiet down. You decline, the Chancellor repeated. Perhaps you misunderstand the situation, Ambassador. This was not truly a negotiation. The Council has decided that Earth poses a risk to galactic stability. You will comply with our oversight. No, Daniel said simply, we will not. A representative stood, mandibles clicking rapidly. You cannot refuse the Council. We represent 5,000 worlds. You are one planet, one primitive planet that barely understands the technology you stumbled upon. We understand it better than you think, Daniel replied calmly. His expression hardened. Then you choose the difficult path. Very well. I hereby authorize immediate economic sanctions against Earth. All human ships are banned from Council space. The blockade fleet will establish position within the week. Several Council members applauded. A admiral stood and bowed toward. My fleet stands ready, Chancellor. We will teach the humans their proper place. Daniel let them celebrate for a moment. Then he spoke again, his voice cutting through the noise. Before you proceed, I should inform you of something. Earth would like to provide a demonstration to help the Council understand exactly what you are threatening. His laugh echoed through the chamber. A demonstration of what? Your small fleet, your basic weapons? Please, Ambassador, do not embarrass yourself further. I think you will find it educational, Daniel said. He tapped his tablet. I am transmitting coordinates to the Council's observation systems. Neutral space, Sector 774, an uninhabited asteroid field. No ships, no stations, no life of any kind. What is the purpose of this? Demanded a Shard representative, its crystalline body refracting the chamber lights. You believe Earth is weak, Daniel said. You base this belief on incomplete information. You have seen our trade ships and light cruisers. You have read reports about our military capabilities from observers who only saw what we wanted them to see. Now we will show you the truth. He tapped his tablet again. Holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber, showing the asteroid field he had mentioned. Council members watched with a mixture of amusement and curiosity. This is a waste of time, muttered. The displays changed. New images appeared showing space around Earth, around the moon, throughout the solar system. What they showed made the laughter die instantly. Sentinel-7 dropped its camouflage. The research station revealed its true form. Weapon systems emerged from hidden panels. Missile tubes opened. Energy weapon emitters extended from the station's hull. The small outpost suddenly looked like a battle fortress. The displays showed 13 more stations doing the same thing. 14 fortresses, each bristling with weapons, each powerful enough to engage entire fleets. What is this? Demanded, standing from his seat. This is Sentinel-7 and its sister stations, Daniel explained calmly. They have been operational for 12 years. Your intelligence services classified them as research facilities. You were mistaken. More images appeared. The lunar surface opened in dozens of locations, rose from concealed bunkers. Missile batteries revealed themselves. The moon transformed from a simple colony into a weapons platform of terrifying scale. Impossible, whispered a Council military advisor. Mars showed similar transformations. So did the asteroid belt. Hidden throughout Earth's solar system were weapons installations that should not exist, could not exist, that the Council had never detected. But Daniel was not finished. Ships that had been listed as cargo haulers and mining vessels throughout Council space suddenly transmitted new identification codes. Military transponders activated. 78 warships revealed themselves, scattered across 100 systems. The Council chamber fell completely silent. Aliens stared at the displays, their minds struggling to process what they were seeing. This was not possible. Earth was primitive. Earth was weak. Earth had barely mastered space travel. Sentinel-7, Daniel said calmly. You are authorized for demonstration fire. Target asteroid 774 Alpha. Captain received the authorization with grim satisfaction. Her crew had trained for this moment, but never believed it would come. She sat in her command chair, looking at the targeting displays. All batteries target locked, her weapons officer reported. Fire ordered. Sentinel-7 unleashed a fraction of its arsenal. Kinetic accelerators launched projectiles at relativistic speeds. Particle beams tore through space at light speed. Quantum disruption missiles flashed into existence and detonated in cascading waves. The asteroid was 3 kilometers across, mostly iron and nickel. It had existed for billions of years, drifting through the empty dark. It existed for exactly 4 seconds after Sentinel-7 fired. The displays in the Council chamber showed everything. The asteroid simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris field, no fragments spinning away. The weapons tore it apart at the molecular level. Matter that had been solid rock became nothing more than scattered atoms. The energy readings alone were impossible. The Council's sensors had never recorded weapons that powerful. Not from any species, not from any civilization. The amount of energy that Sentinel-7 had discharged in those 4 seconds exceeded what some species could generate in a year. That was one weapon station, Daniel said into the absolute silence. We have 14 of them. That demonstration used approximately 3% of Sentinel-7's actual capability. He let that information sink in. Council members stared at him with expressions ranging from shock to horror to disbelief. The lunar installations, Daniel continued. Each one is designed for planetary defense. Combined, they can engage thousands of targets simultaneously. Mars has similar defenses. The asteroid belt contains 47 more installations. Our visible fleet, the ships you know about, they are exactly what they appear to be. Light cruisers and frigates adequate for patrol duty. He paused, making eye contact with. What you did not know about is Shadow Fleet. Those 78 vessels that just revealed themselves. They are not light cruisers. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy a small moon. They have been positioned throughout Council space for 8 years. You never noticed them. Dr. Shaw appeared on the holographic displays, broadcasting from Earth. His image replaced the asteroid demonstration footage. Good afternoon, Council members, said. I am Dr. Shaw, Director of Earth's Advanced Weapons Research Division. You may be wondering how a primitive species developed such advanced technology. The answer is simple. We are not primitive. We never were. He brought up technical specifications, displaying them for the Council's scientists to examine. Energy output calculations, targeting system accuracy, materials science advances, quantum physics applications. Every specification exceeded what the Council believed possible. Humans have been studying warfare for our entire history, continued. We have fought wars with rocks and spears, with swords and arrows, with bullets and bombs, with nuclear weapons and chemical agents. We have killed millions of our own kind learning how to kill efficiently. When we reached space, we took all that knowledge with us. He showed images of Earth's weapons development programs. Underground labs, orbital testing facilities, research stations hidden in deep space. The Council's intelligence services are very good, said. But they look for what they expect to find. You expected primitive weapons, so that is what you found. You expected limited capability, so that is what you saw. You expected us to advertise our military strength, so when we remained silent about it, you assumed we had none. Finally found his voice. This is a trick, some kind of illusion. Humans cannot possess such technology. Would you like another demonstration? Daniel asked politely. We can destroy a larger asteroid, or perhaps you would prefer we demonstrate our defensive capabilities. We can show you how our point defense systems can intercept thousands of incoming missiles simultaneously. No, said quickly, too quickly. That will not be necessary. Then you believe us now. The Council chamber remained silent. Every member understood what they had just witnessed. Earth had not stumbled into space travel. Humanity had not been lucky or foolish. They had been careful, deliberate, and terrifyingly competent. I should mention, Daniel added, everything I have shown you, everything you have seen today, represents our defensive capabilities. Our defensive capabilities only. We have other systems, other weapons, other technologies that remain classified. What you have witnessed is less than 1% of Earth. The Council chamber remained in chaos for hours after Daniel's demonstration. Emergency sessions were called across the galaxy. Governments that had supported the ultimatum suddenly found themselves facing uncomfortable questions from their own citizens. Military strategists locked themselves in secure rooms, trying to calculate the impossible. General Henderson sat in his office at Earth Defense Command, fielding communications from alien governments he had never heard from before. 17 species contacted him in the first 6 hours alone. Some wanted reassurance. Others wanted to negotiate alliances. A few tried to threaten, but their threats sounded hollow now. General Henderson, said the voice of a diplomat, my government wishes to express its concern about recent developments. We were not aware of Earth's military capabilities. That was the intention, replied calmly. Earth prefers peace, but we are not defenseless. Your government supported the Council's ultimatum. What is your position now? The hesitated. We may have been hasty. The information we received about humanity was incomplete. Deliberately incomplete, corrected. We allowed the Council to see exactly what we wanted them to see. Your intelligence services found what they expected to find. Now you know the truth. He ended the call and immediately received another, this time from a military commander demanding to know why humans had deceived the Council. Explained patiently that Earth had never lied. They simply had not volunteered information about their defensive capabilities. If the Council had asked directly, Earth might have answered differently. But they had not asked, they had assumed. Admiral Lisa Grant met with Ambassador Ara of the species in a secure location on the Council station. Ara had opposed the ultimatum from the beginning, one of only 12 Council members who voted against it. Now she looked exhausted. "You should have warned us," Ara said quietly. "We thought we were dealing with a young species that needed guidance." "Would you have believed us?" Lisa asked. "If we had simply told you about our capabilities, would the Council have accepted it, or would they have demanded proof, inspections, demonstrations?" Ara was silent for a moment. "They would have demanded proof." "Exactly. And if we had shown you our weapons gradually, carefully, the Council would have demanded more. They would have required us to explain every technology, justify every installation, prove that we were not a threat. We would have spent decades defending ourselves against suspicion." "So you waited for them to threaten you," Ara said. "You let them believe you were weak until they pushed too far." "We gave them every chance to treat us as equals," Lisa replied. "Every diplomatic interaction, every trade negotiation, every cultural exchange. We tried to build relationships based on mutual respect. The Council chose to see us as inferiors instead. That was their mistake, not ours." Ara nodded slowly. "There are those who want war now. They argue that Earth is a threat that must be eliminated before you grow even stronger." "How would that war end?" Lisa asked bluntly. "You have seen what one weapon station can do. We have 14 of them, plus the lunar defenses, Mars installations, the asteroid belt fortifications, plus our actual fleet, which is far larger than the Council knew, plus technologies we have not revealed yet." "You would win," Ara admitted. "We would survive," Lisa corrected. "War would cost billions of lives on both sides. The Council would lose ships, planets, entire populations. Earth would suffer damage too. Some of our installations might be destroyed. But humanity would survive and the Council would be broken. Is that what your people want?" Ara looked away. "No, most of us want peace. But they're the ones who feel humiliated by your deception. They want revenge." "Then help me stop them," Lisa said. "Work with us to find a diplomatic solution. Earth does not want to be the Council's enemy. We want to be partners, equals, contributors to galactic civilization. But we will not be anyone's subjects." High Chancellor faced the most difficult meeting of his long career. The Council's inner circle gathered in a secure chamber, away from the public sessions. These were the real power brokers, the leaders who made decisions that affected trillions of beings. "We must respond with force," declared Admiral, commander of the Council's primary battle fleet. "Earth has made fools of us. They cannot be allowed to dictate terms." "With what force?" asked a Shard representative named Crystalline. "Did you see the same demonstration I did? One of their stations destroyed a 3-kilometer asteroid in seconds. How many ships would we lose trying to attack even one of those installations?" "We have thousands of ships," insisted. "They have 14 stations and some hidden fleet. Numbers favor us." "Do they?" Crystalline's body flashed with internal light, a sign of agitation. "Our analysts estimate each human defense station could engage and destroy hundreds of targets simultaneously. Their shadow fleet consists of ships far more advanced than we believed possible. Their Earth system is a fortress. How many ships are you willing to sacrifice?" The room fell silent. Everyone knew the answer. Nobody wanted to sacrifice any ships, especially not in a war they might not win. "Spoke carefully. We have been outmaneuvered. The humans played a long game and we fell for it. The question now is how we proceed without losing face entirely." "They demand to be treated as equals," said another Council member. "Perhaps we should grant them that, with conditions." "What conditions could we enforce?" Crystalline asked. "They have shown they can defend themselves against anything we can deploy. They have weapons throughout Council space that we never detected. They have technology that exceeds our own in several areas. What leverage do we have?" The silence stretched uncomfortably. The Council had built its authority on the assumption that they were the strongest, most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Earth had shattered that assumption in 4 seconds. Dr. Shaw released more information about Earth's technological development, carefully controlling what became public. He explained that humanity had focused on defensive technologies after early encounters with hostile species. The raiders had attacked human colonies 15 years ago. That attack had killed thousands of civilians and taught Earth a harsh lesson about galactic dangers. "We realized we were vulnerable," told a galactic news broadcast. Earth had achieved space travel, but we were not prepared for the realities of a galaxy where some species see others as prey. The Council did not intervene when they attacked us. They said it was a local matter, not worthy of Council attention. He brought up images from the attack. Human colonies burning, ships destroyed, civilians killed by aliens who viewed them as easy targets. "So we decided to make sure it would never happen again," continued. "We developed weapons that could protect our people. We built defenses that would make attacking Earth too costly for anyone to attempt. We did this quietly, without boasting or threatening others. We simply made ourselves strong enough that nobody would dare harm us again." The broadcast had an effect across the galaxy. Many species had suffered at the hands of raiders and pirates. The Council's protection was often theoretical, arriving too late or not at all. Earth's decision to defend itself resonated with smaller species who felt vulnerable. Ambassador Daniel Brooks addressed the full Galactic Council again 3 days after the demonstration. The chamber was packed. Every species sent their highest representatives. This meeting would determine the future of human-council relations, possibly the future of the Council itself. "Members of the Galactic Council," Daniel began, "Earth has shown you our capabilities. We did not do this to threaten you. We did it because you left us no choice. You demanded our surrender. We could either comply or demonstrate why compliance was impossible." He walked slowly around the center of the chamber, making eye contact with various representatives. "Some of you argue that Earth deceived the Council. We did not. We simply did not volunteer military information. Every species here keeps some capabilities secret. You do not share all your military technology with potential adversaries. Neither did we." Murmurs of agreement came from some quarters. Not everyone had supported the ultimatum. "Some of you want war," Daniel continued. "You feel humiliated that a young species matched and exceeded your military technology. You want to crush us as an example to others. Let me be very clear about what that war would cost." He activated holographic displays again, showing tactical simulations. Earth's analysts had modeled various attack scenarios. Every simulation showed massive Council losses, even in their best-case projections. "You would lose thousands of ships," Daniel said. "Dozens of planets would suffer damage from weapons exchanges. Millions of your citizens would die. You might eventually overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer numbers, but it would cost you everything. The Council would be broken, your economies shattered, your military forces decimated. And for what? To punish one species for refusing to submit." He let the simulations play out, showing the projected devastation. Council members watched their under attack, their fleets destroyed, their civilization crumbling. The images were cold, analytical, but brutally effective. "Or," Daniel said, his voice softening slightly, "we can choose a different path. Earth offers partnership. We will share some technologies that could benefit all species. Medical advances, energy generation, food production technologies. Things that help people, not kill them. We will maintain our military capabilities because we will never again be defenseless. But those capabilities need not be used against the Council." Stood slowly. He looked older than he had a week ago. The supreme confidence was gone, replaced by wary calculation. "What exactly does Earth propose?" he asked. "Recognition as a sovereign power with full Council membership," Daniel replied. "Not as a junior member subject to oversight. As an equal, we will contribute to Council defense efforts. We will share technology appropriate for cooperative ventures. We will participate in galactic commerce and diplomacy. But Earth's internal affairs, our military capabilities, our territorial integrity, these remain ours to determine." "And if the Council refuses?" Daniel's expression hardened. "Then we refuse the Council. Earth will withdraw from all cooperative agreements. Our shadow fleet will return home. Our trade will redirect to species who treat us with respect. We will build our own network of alliances with other species who are tired of Council dominance. The galaxy is large enough for multiple power blocks. It was a clear threat. Earth could survive without the Council. The Council's authority would suffer greatly if a major species rejected them. Ara stood. The government supports Earth's proposal. We believe humanity has earned the right to be treated as equals. We welcome them as full Council members. Other voices joined hers. Not all. Some species remained opposed, but enough supported Earth that the outcome became clear. Looked around the chamber. He saw his support crumbling. The choice was simple: accept Earth as equals or watch the Council fracture. The Council recognizes Earth as a sovereign power, he said finally. Welcome to full member. 6 months passed since Earth forced the Galactic Council to recognize humanity as equals. The galaxy had changed in ways nobody predicted. Species that once viewed humans as primitive newcomers now treated them with wary respect. Some sought friendship. Others maintained hostile distance. But none dared threaten Earth again. Ambassador Daniel Brooks, now High Ambassador of Earth, stood in his new office overlooking the Council Station's main concourse. The title came with expanded authority and responsibilities. Earth now had full voting rights, permanent seats on key committees, and genuine influence over galactic policy. Lieutenant Amy Carson, promoted to Deputy Ambassador, reviewed the day's schedule. You have meetings with 14 different delegations today. They want to discuss joint defense initiatives. The crystalline shards are proposing technology exchanges. 3 smaller species are requesting Earth's protection from raiders. That last part troubles me, Daniel said. We are not the galaxy's police force. They see us as protectors now, Amy replied. Earth demonstrated overwhelming military power but chose not to use it aggressively. That combination attracts species who feel vulnerable. Daniel considered this. Earth's revelation had created unexpected dynamics. Species that feared Council dominance suddenly had an alternative. If they could not trust the Council to protect them, perhaps they could ally with the humans who had proven both powerful and restrained. Captain commanded Task Force Liberty in the border regions between Council and independent space. Her fleet consisted of 4 human destroyers and 6 allied vessels from 3 different species. They hunted pirates and raiders who preyed on civilian shipping. Contact bearing 085, her sensor officer reported. Multiple ships attacking a convoy. Studied the tactical display. 8 raider vessels, probably from their energy signatures, attacking a merchant convoy of 5 cargo ships. The convoy's escorts were outmatched and falling back. All ships battle stations, ordered. Move to intercept. Let's remind these raiders why this region is no longer safe for them. Task Force Liberty accelerated toward the combat zone. They had terrorized this sector for years, confident that Council forces would respond too slowly to help victims. They had not adjusted to the new reality where Earth maintained constant patrols. The raiders detected its approach and broke off their attack. They ran, which was smart. Had orders to avoid unnecessary casualties, but she also had orders to eliminate threats to civilian shipping. Fire warning shots, she commanded. If they do not stop, engage with intent to disable. Particle beams lanced across space, deliberately missing the fleeing raiders. 2 of them stopped, transmitting surrender codes. The other 6 kept running. They made their choice, said. All batteries open fire. The engagement lasted 40 seconds. Earth's weapons technology gave Task Force Liberty overwhelming advantage. 6 raider ships became expanding debris clouds. The 2 that surrendered were taken into custody. Contacted the merchant convoy. This is Captain of Earth Defense Force. Are you damaged? Do you need assistance? Minimal damage, came the grateful reply. You saved us, Captain, though we're about to board our ships. Consider this area under Earth protection now, said. We will be conducting regular patrols, safe travels. As Task Force Liberty resumed its patrol route, reflected on how much had changed. 6 months ago, Earth barely acknowledged having a military. Now they openly operated warships throughout the galaxy, and most species applauded them for it. Admiral Lisa Grant oversaw the expansion of Earth's formal alliance network from Fleet Command. 23 species had signed mutual defense agreements with humanity. Another 40 requested military advisors and training assistants. Earth found itself building exactly what many had feared, a power block that rivaled the Council. But Lisa carefully maintained the distinction between allies and subjects. Earth did not demand submission or tribute. Partners contributed what they could and received protection and technology sharing appropriate to their agreements. Some species provided resources or territory for bases. Others offered intelligence or diplomatic support. All maintained their sovereignty. "We are becoming what we fought against," warned General Henderson during a command review. "The Council demanded submission from us. Now smaller species look to us for protection. How are we different?" "Choice," Lisa replied. "The Council gave ultimatums. We offer partnerships. Any species can walk away from alliance with Earth without punishment. Can they do that with the Council?" Nodded reluctantly. The difference mattered, but the line was thin. Earth had to remain vigilant about not becoming the thing they had resisted. Dr. Shaw continued releasing technological information in carefully measured amounts. Medical advances that helped treat diseases common among many species. Energy generation techniques that were cleaner and more efficient. Agricultural methods that increased crop yields on marginal worlds. But Earth's military technology remained mostly classified. Some defensive systems were shared with close allies. Sensor technology, point defense systems, communications encryption. Nothing that would give anyone the ability to threaten Earth or its partners. "Why share anything?" asked a reporter during a public broadcast. "Earth has every advantage. Why give that up?" Smiled, because technology advances faster when knowledge is shared. Earth benefits when our partners are prosperous and secure. We gain more from cooperation than we lose from selective sharing. Besides, we are still developing new capabilities. What we share today does not represent our current cutting edge. It was honest without being complete. Earth maintained significant advantages while building goodwill and fostering innovation across allied species. Commander Jake ran the training program for mixed human-alien military units on Luna Base. Volunteers from allied species learned Earth's tactical doctrines, practiced with human weapon systems, and integrated into combined forces. The program built trust and capability simultaneously. "Your species relies too much on shields," Jake told a class of officers. "Shields are excellent defensive systems, but they create a crutch. When your shields fail, your ships are vulnerable because you never trained for combat without them." A captain raised his hand. "How do humans compensate without strong shields?" "We never rely on any single defensive system," Jake explained. "Our ships have layered defenses, electronic warfare to confuse targeting, point defense to intercept incoming fire, armor to absorb damage that gets through, redundant systems so one hit does not cripple us, and aggressive maneuvering to make us harder targets." The officers took notes furiously. Earth's military philosophy was different from Council doctrine. Humans assumed defenses would be penetrated and planned accordingly. Council species tended to build fewer, stronger defensive systems. Both approaches had merit, but humans had thousands of years of warfare experience to draw from. Former High Chancellor met privately with Daniel in a quiet section of the Council station. The former Chancellor had been removed from power after the Earth debacle, but he remained influential in politics. "You played us perfectly," said without anger. "Every move calculated to make us underestimate you." "We did what we needed to survive," Daniel replied. "The Council's first instinct was to dominate us. We had to prove that was impossible. And now you build your own power structure, your own alliance network. You threaten everything the Council has built." Daniel shook his head. "We do not threaten the Council. We provide an alternative. Species that feel the Council serves them well remain loyal to it. Those who want different arrangements can partner with Earth. Competition is healthy." Studied the human ambassador for a long moment. "You speak of competition, but you possess weapons that could destroy the Council if you chose. Why have you not attempted conquest?" "Because we do not want to rule the galaxy," Daniel said simply. "We want to live in it safely. There is a difference." "Your species is strange," said. "You possess overwhelming power yet use it sparingly. Most species would leverage such advantage for dominance." "Most species do not have humanity's history," Daniel replied. "We know what happens when power is abused. We have seen empires rise and fall on our own world. We understand that respect gained through fear is fragile. We prefer partnerships built on mutual benefit." Nodded slowly. "Perhaps that is why you succeeded where others failed. You understand power is not just about strength. It is about knowing when not to use strength." Ambassador Aura proposed sweeping reforms to Council structure, backed by Earth and several allied species. The reforms would reduce the Council's authority over member species while strengthening cooperative mechanisms for shared challenges. Trade, scientific research, cultural exchange, these would remain Council functions, but military oversight and political interference would end. The Council should serve its members, not rule them, Aura argued during a public session. Earth demonstrated that independent species can be powerful and responsible. We should trust others the same way. The debate raged for weeks. Conservative council members fought to maintain traditional authority. Progressive voices argued for change. Earth remained officially neutral but quietly supported reform efforts. The compromise that eventually emerged pleased nobody completely, which usually meant it was fair. The Council retained authority over truly galactic concerns like preventing genocide or stopping existential threats. But individual species gained greater autonomy over internal matters and defense policy. Earth's example had forced institutional change. Daniel stood in the Council chamber 9 months after the crisis began. Today, Earth would host a summit of galactic powers to address long-term security challenges. Species from across known space would attend, including several who had no formal relationship with the Council. This gathering represents a new beginning, Daniel told the assembled delegates. Earth believes that security comes not from dominance but from cooperation, not from demanding submission but from building partnerships. We invite all species to join us in creating a galaxy where strength protects rather than threatens, where power serves peace rather than conquest. The applause was genuine from most delegates. Some species remained skeptical. A few stayed hostile, but the overall direction was clear. Earth had changed galactic politics forever. Captain transmitted her regular patrol report to Fleet Command. Task Force Liberty had secured the border region. Piracy had dropped by 70%. Civilian shipping increased dramatically as merchants felt safe using previously dangerous routes. 3 minor species requested permanent Earth presence in their territory. Admiral Lisa Grant read the report with satisfaction. Earth was not trying to conquer the galaxy. They were making it safer, more prosperous, more peaceful. That was how you built lasting influence and genuine respect. Dr. Shaw supervised the deployment of Project Horizon to high orbit above Earth. The massive weapon system remained hidden behind defensive fields, invisible to casual observation. It was humanity's ultimate insurance policy, the weapon that made attacking Earth unthinkable even for a united galactic alliance. He hoped it would never be used, but having it meant Earth could pursue peaceful cooperation from a position of absolute security. General Henderson reviewed updated threat assessments with his staff. The galaxy had calmed significantly. Species that might have tested Earth's resolve saw what happened to the raiders who tried. Nobody wanted to discover what other capabilities humanity had hidden. "We achieved our objective," told his senior officers. "Earth is safe, we are respected, our people can travel the galaxy without fear, that is what we fought for." Commander Jake watched mixed crews training together, human and alien soldiers learning to trust each other. It reminded him that the ultimate goal was not victory over enemies, but friendship with neighbors. Daniel sat in his office late at night, looking at Earth displayed on the blue-green world hung in space, peaceful and beautiful. Billions of humans lived there, safe because their ancestors had prepared for the worst while hopping for the best. Amy entered quietly. The Shard Collective just sent a message. They want to discuss a long-term alliance. That makes 24 formal partners. "Good," Daniel said. "But remember, we are not building an empire. We are building a community." "What is the difference?" Amy asked. "An empire takes," Daniel replied. "A community gives. An empire demands loyalty. A community earns it. An empire uses fear. A community builds trust." He turned away from the council tried to force us into submission. They failed because they underestimated both our strength and our values. We will not make the same mistake. Earth will remain strong enough that nobody can threaten us, but we will use that strength to protect, not to conquer. Amy nodded. "Some species fear us anyway." "Let them fear what we could do," Daniel said. "But let them respect what we choose to do instead. That is how you change a galaxy, not with threats but with examples." The months ahead would bring new challenges. Some species would test Earth's resolve. Others would seek to exploit human generosity. A few might plot revenge for perceived humiliation. But Earth had proven it could defend itself. More importantly, it had proven it could do so without becoming a threat to others. Humanity had unleashed devastating power not for conquest, but for protection. They had shocked the galaxy not just with their weapons, but with their restraint. The old order, where the Council's word was law and newer species had no voice, was dead. The new order, where power meant responsibility and strength served peace, was being born. Earth stood at the center of this transformation, neither conqueror nor victim, but partner and protector. The humans who had been dismissed as primitive were now the species others looked to for leadership. And they had earned that position one careful, calculated step at a time, until the moment came to reveal the truth the galaxy had been too blind to see. Humanity was never weak, they were patient. There is a difference, and the Galactic Council had learned it the hard way. Hip Ambassador Brooks. The chamber erupted in mixed reactions. Cheers from some species, silence from others, angry shouts from a few, but it was done. Earth had forced the galaxy to see them as they truly were. Not primitive, not weak, not subjects to be ruled. Equals who had earned their place through strength, intelligence, and the willingness to defend what was theirs. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Its total military capability. Amy Carson watched the council members' reactions. Some looked terrified. Others seemed angry at being deceived. A few appeared thoughtful, recalculating everything they believed about humanity. Sat down slowly. His supreme confidence had evaporated. Around him, council members frantically communicated with their home governments. Military advisors huddled in small groups, arguing in urgent whispers. So, Daniel said, "Let us revisit your demands. You wanted Earth to surrender its weapons. You wanted to reduce our military forces. You wanted to enforce a blockade of our system." He looked directly at, "Do you still believe that is possible?" They were about to learn that humans had spent those years in space doing more than exploring and trading. Humanity had learned, adapted, and prepared. Earth was ready for war, ready for peace, and ready to defend itself against anyone foolish enough to threaten it. The countdown continued. In 3 days, Ambassador Brooks would return to the council chamber. He would deliver Earth's answer. And the galaxy would never be the same. It was the oldest mistake in warfare. Underestimate your enemy, assume your superiority, believe your own intelligence reports without questioning them. The council was about to pay for that mistake. Daniel's communication device chimed. A response from Earth, faster than he expected. He read the encrypted message and allowed himself a small smile. 3 words this time: "We are ready." The countdown had begun.